Dear participants, let me begin by warmly thanking you for the invitation to close this important event. I have no doubt that the past 3 weeks have been both intense and enriching, as you have worked on how best to strengthen the digital skills of Europeans. This mission lies at the heart of my work as well. Your campaign, Educated Digital Citizens, is not only timely, it's essential. Today, we face an imperative to significantly accelerate our collective efforts to equip every European with the skills to actively engage in a digital society. In today's world, developing everybody's digital skills is fundamental because it's strictly linked to every part of our lives. All key activities of our lives are becoming more and more intertwined with digital tools. This digital integration is a force of good. It drives both efficiency and effectiveness, but only if we ensure that everyone can participate. This is why I am building a solid EU leadership on advanced digital inclusion and skills development. This is the key to a successful digital transition, one that is inclusive, resilient, and truly European. Against this background, the European Commission recently published the Union of Skills Communication to support our competitiveness agenda. It aims at bringing a more coordinated approach that tackles fragmentation. It is a big push to bring education, industry, and policymakers together. Under the Union of Skills, we have ambitious targets, but these are truly needed if we want to stay a prosperous continent. Our aim is to reach 20 million employed ICT specialists by 2030, with a special focus on achieving gender balance in the field. Additionally, we strive for 80% of adults to possess at least basic digital skills by 2030. These goals reflect our determination to harness the full potential of digital technologies while addressing strategic dependencies and safeguarding also Europe's digital sovereignty, and to ensure that no one is left behind in the digital transformation. Another issue which is close to my heart is the substantial gender gap. It is the fact that women are still underrepresented in the ICT sector. Women in ICT account for less than 20% in the European Union. This imbalance is deeply problematic. First, because Europe cannot afford to exclude half of its talent from such a vital sector. And also second, women can also provide unique perspectives into the design and development of technology. Having female ICT specialists involved in the creation process helps ensure that technologies are, by design, inclusive, also women as well. It is essential that we ensure gender equality in shaping our digital future, because a truly inclusive digital transition must reflect the voices and experiences of all Europeans. We must also strengthen our policies to ensure that women and girls boost the level of digital skills so that we may realize a digital transition that is not only innovative but just. I look particularly forward to hearing about the outcomes of your discussions on this topic. This brings me to the flagship actions we will take to address these hurdles. To meet these ambitions, we are investing significantly in the digital skills academies, with new institutions dedicated to AI, quantum, virtual worlds, and semiconductors. We will also launch European Advanced Digital Skills competitions to engage young Europeans in the development of cutting-edge digital technologies, including AI. I invite each of you to be part of this journey. Together, we can build a digital skilled Europe that leaves no one behind. In conclusion, we need to intensify also our efforts, and we need to do it together. We need to continue joining forces, the European Commission, the Member States, industry, social partners, and education providers. There is no digital future, no truly digital society without the right digital skills. Let us work together to ensure that every European, regardless of age or background, is empowered to thrive in the digital age.
Thank you, Vice President Virkunen. What a nice way and an inspiring message that we have here. And it's a good way to start our moments together. Good morning, everybody. My name is David McAwee. I'm CEO of All Digital, and I will be your host today. I often say that All Digital is a movement, and if we compare it with a movement, today is both a celebration and a call to keep moving, to keep advancing. And for this, I really want to start by thanking Microsoft, who is supporting this great event and represented today by Andrea Calbeza. So thanks a lot for this. We just heard the institutional vision about digital inclusion, about digital education. Let's hear the pulse of the people that are behind this great campaign. So we'll start by someone who is really a passionate supporter of digital inclusion since decades. Someone who has seen the All Digital Weeks evolving over the different years. It's our chairman at All Digital, Alteo Valentini. Alteo, before we dive in, we see that you have kind of an interesting background behind you. Where are you joining us from today? And in a moment like this, what does kind of All Digital Weeks really mean for you? What does it mean for you, and what does it mean for Europe?
Thank you very much, David. Yes, in fact, I hope you can hear me well. Here the energy is very high and a little bit also the volume, because I'm together with over 100 kids from all over Europe who are actually celebrating the closing of All Digital Weeks together with us here in Foligno, the place where we operate. Today, it's the end of a journey that they went through during the week. We worked a lot on stop motion movies, and as you can see, with a very important focus, sustainable development goals. So we invited also another generation, elderly people. There are two groups, one from Poland and one from Italy, and together they are creating a stop motion project that they will present at the end of the day. So actually, this is what All Digital and All Digital Weeks is all about to me. It's bringing generation together, find the beauty of digital tools and creativeness, and produce fun, but at the same time learn digital skill. So I was checking all the events we had during these 3 weeks in Europe. Every year it's bigger and bigger. I want to compliment with all the members, all the staff, and everyone who made this campaign possible, because this is what we need. This is what we have to focus on also when the digital weeks are over. Um, Good luck for all the ones who are in the competition, and have a great webinar.
Thanks a lot, Alteo. Thanks for setting the tone. Your words reflect well what the campaign is. It's real people, real places, real impact. That's really nice to be able to hear it and see it at the same time. Later on, we'll indeed celebrate the 5 standard initiatives that will win the award this year. But now I first want to really connect those local stories with a wider ecosystem. So we have for you a conversation today that will be really inspiring as well, that brings together policy, industry, and grassroots insights. And for that, it's my pleasure to hand over the floor to Céline Tagma, who is the head of communication at All Digital. Céline, the visual stage is yours.
So thank you, David. I will try to keep up with this energy from the ground and from here, the All Digital office. So hello, everyone online. I have the pleasure to moderate today's debate, and we will reflect on some messages coming from our campaign, and also we will explore how we can all work together better for digital inclusion as we just heard in Virkonen's message as well. So here we have our three speakers for the expert debate. Andrea Calbeza, as David already introduced, is Senior Manager of Government Affairs at Microsoft. And we have Georgi Dimitrov, Head of Unit Digital Education at the European Commission. And we have Peter Palvolgi, COO of All Digital. So I would like to open the debate with some insights about the campaign. So All Digital Weeks is actually not just a campaign, but as David mentioned, it's a Europe-wide movement to put digital inclusion in the spotlight. And this year, during 3 weeks, we had over 700 events reaching out to more than 65,000 people. So I would like to start with a question to our speakers. Although you were not involved directly, you have a good overview about the types of events and the scope of the campaign. What do you find most inspiring about this campaign on digital inclusion? And why do you think such initiatives matter from your perspective? Maybe we can start with Georgi.
Well, thank you very much, Celine, and hello everybody online. And the energy is also here, even though I'm not there where Alteo is. So thanks a lot and congratulations for the growth over the years. First of all, I mean, what this means to me, Celine, is the power of collective action. Really, this is basically how a real innovation happens on the grassroots. And of course, this is something that we as policymakers are very passionate about. But what really matters is that our proposals that are always, normally sourced also from the stakeholders, from consultations, that they are also then visible on the ground. And this is only through collective action, such as the one that we have seen. And the many others, which I know you have been doing over the weeks, and be it the Latvian future-focused hackathon, or maybe the Czech Republic's cybersecurity event. I think these are very concrete examples which show how digital inclusion crosses borders, first of all, and also how it can empower young people independently from age or background. And I think the numbers there that you've mentioned earlier on, they are of course a very powerful statistic, but most of all, they are a proof that Europeans actually are really interested in these kind of things, and they can be mobilized. And this is a very positive message for the European, let's say, digital future, which I think we need also to have, because it's not all positive in this world. So thank you for that. So, this type of grassroots movements, they are like a living sort of laboratory where good ideas, and hopefully some of those good ideas come from the European Commission as well, can be tested. And this is what matters. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And Andrea, what do you find inspiring about this power of collective action and grassroots movement?
Yeah, thank you so much. It's a real pleasure to be speaking to you today. Thank you for having me, and congratulations once again for another marathon of events across Europe. This is really amazing to see, and especially as we at Microsoft celebrate 50th anniversary this year. And you might, if you're wondering what the background behind me is about, that's it. It is really a moment that reminds us about how far technology has come and how much opportunity lies ahead. So I think what inspires me most about All Digital is, as you've all mentioned as well, is kind of the grassroots energy behind it. I mean, you saw what was happening behind Alteo as he was speaking, and just so many people coming together across Europe, not just to talk about, digital inclusion and why it's important, but to make it real in their communities. So that kind of collective come together, I think, is so important right now, more than ever. And initiatives like this are essential because they meet people where they are. And at a time when, technologies, artificial intelligence are moving so fast, we need to ensure that no one is left behind. So what you're doing is really powerful, because you turn, the concept of digital inclusion from a policy goal into I would call it lived experience, one workshop, one skill at a time, and one person who might have their future or perspective changed because of the activities that you're doing. And it's also a reminder that we need all hands on deck. So from governments to private sector, community leaders and organizations like All Digital who make things happen. So we're really happy to be able to support All Digital this year once again. I think it's really amazing what you're doing.
Thank you very much, Andrea. Well, Peter, if you would like to just say a few words, because this campaign is of great symbolic importance for All Digital, maybe you would like to add something about it.
Indeed, thank you very much, Salina, and I would like to very much thank both of you, Georgi and Andrea, for representing European Commission and Microsoft in this discussion and for supporting the All Digital Weeks campaign. Well, I just have to probably repeat you saying that what inspires me is how the campaign is able to mobilize communities at grassroots level, while at the same time connecting them to a broader European vision. So our members work on a daily basis on digital competence development, and during these weeks, they feel themselves being part of something wider, something European awareness-raising campaign, which is highlighting their work, and it's very important for them. So they feel their work is recognized, acknowledged, rewarded, appreciated, and who they are, community centers, digital competence centers, local schools, local vet centers, NGOs who work on daily basis on competence development. But it's not only about skills, it's about empowerment, it's about people, Judiths, Mihais, Esthers, Bernards, who may lack of basic digital skills and who may benefit from and shine with digital skills. They may belong to marginalized groups, live in poverty, unemployed, lack of opportunities, but at the same time, we see a lot of creativity, resilience, and innovation coming from the grassroots. And I think we should not forget, and this is the most important thing, that people remain in the center of digital transformation.
Thank you, Peter. And I would like to remind, we had a launch event of the campaign, and it was as energetic as the closing event today. Actually, there it was organized in Brussels in person, and we had a great interactive session with participants where everyone brainstormed on possible solutions to overcome barriers to digital inclusion. So today we will organize our debate around the solutions, some highlights from this session. And one of them was indeed focusing on this connection between grassroots realities and EU level strategies. So actually there was a strong call. It was a two-way call. So to bring local knowledge and experience into EU decision making, but also making EU digital strategies meaningful for local realities. So here I would like to hear some insights from Georgi about what do you think is still missing or not used enough to build a stronger connection between the two?
Thank you. It's a great and persistent challenge and a big question to solve, which basically comes down to the way how the European Union operates in the end of the day. And I think it requires some innovation. What I mean concretely by this is that through real coordination is not just about consulting the partners, but it's also allowing a co-creation to emerge. And this is going beyond just listening to the stakeholders, but it's about what also Peter said about empowering the community to shape solutions. And I think this is not so easy in practice, but When it comes to my personal work in the field of digital education and in the context of the Digital Education Action Plan, I would like to give you one example of how I believe we contribute a little bit to bridging this to this gap. In the course of the last 2-3 years, we have created sort of an interface, if I can take that word, because we are here in a digital environment, which is the Digital Education Hub, with the goal to create a link between practitioners and stakeholders on the one side and the European Commission on the other side. Why? Because when we want to solve problems such as AI, and Andrea mentioned it, or other big challenges of our time, such as how to support our teachers in tackling disinformation, for example, fake news, we need to get the knowledge from the ground. I mean, there is no magic, let's say, a solution in Brussels which exists to solve this type of problems. We need to talk to the people, just like in this hackathon or in this event or elsewhere, who are actually all hands on deck. And for this, you need an instrument which takes the knowledge and the experience and translates it into policy recommendations. And our attempt with the Digital Education Hub is exactly that, an attempt to bridge this gap between what happens at the local level, at the level of the practitioner, and the policy. And I'll give you a very concrete example. Right now, we have launched a revision process of our guidelines to support educators on how to deal with artificial intelligence in the classroom. We have adopted those guidelines 3 years ago, exactly when ChatGPT came out. And you can imagine that in 3 years, a couple of things happened in the meantime. So now we would like to have a much more agile, flexible way. And we are running this exercise in the Digital Education Hub, which, by the way, is open for all practitioners to join. And with this, we hope to be a bit more efficient and faster in terms of taking the lessons from the ground into the policy making.
Thank you very much. This is indeed a good instrument to connect the two. And when it comes to carrying the knowledge of grassroots level to Brussels and to EU policy making, I think this would take me back to All Digital and Peter, because All Digital plays a key role also in bridging grassroots organizations and European institutions. So also hearing what Georgi just said about new instruments, how do you see this role evolving? So especially when it comes to shaping EU digital skills policies from bottom up.
Thank you, Sarin. Indeed, it's an important role for All Digital to be a bridge between the grassroots organizations and the broader European policies. And it's very critical to ensure that the European policies, as Georgi was pointing out, not created in the vacuum, but shaped by real needs, challenges, and people's contributions who are on the ground. I can also mention 2 good examples how we are able to contribute, for instance, to the Digital Education Action Plan Georgi was referring to. I think we have contributed to 6 or 7 different actions, but we play a very prominent role through our communities of practice, where we have over thousands of experts and practitioners working together and directly contributing to European policy actions, in particular to the digital competence framework for citizens and the continuous upgrade, and to make sure that the DigCom framework is widely used and known in Europe, as well as we also formulated a community of practice and contributed to another action of the DEAP, the European Digital Skills Certification. On the other hand, and what we need to do or how we support our members locally is capacity building. So we are helping our organizations not only simply to deliver training programs, but also to be able to advocate for their communities so that they are able to speak up when they go to their town halls, regional governments, ministries, parliaments, and our digital is ensuring that even Brussels listens. So actually, I would like to say we are not just a bridge, but we are a megaphone for our grassroots organizations.
Thank you very much. I think there is something that both of you, Georgi and you, talked in common. So creating some communities to bring people together to have this interaction. So that's important, and also empowering the local communities to be able to come up, bring their solutions to Brussels. So I would like to again revisit the energy from the launch event, where actually there was another strong message, which will be for Andrea and Microsoft. So basically, there was also a strong call about the private sector taking accountability for digital inclusion, really truly supporting digital well-being and inclusive and responsible AI. So in this respect, I would like to ask you how Microsoft, as a key player in advancing digital inclusion, is addressing this. So not just from a business perspective, but also with real attention to their human and societal impact.
Yeah, thank you, Celine. I think this is such an important question. And at Microsoft, we see digital inclusion and well-being as essential, not just from a business perspective. And I think that's important as well, because by thinking inclusively, we just build better products. So it is a business imperative as well. But really as a foundation for long-term trust in technology. And if we have failed on that, if we do not make sure that people trust our technology, we really have failed on our mission, right, to empower people to use technologies and do more. So, you know, we've been working for many years with European governments, businesses, communities, and we're trying to make sure that the benefits of digital and artificial intelligence innovation are widely shared, and that people's rights are respected, and everyone has the opportunity to participate. And I mean, we've seen how, you know, new technologies are reshaping sectors across Europe, and it's really kind of, you know, it's transformational. People have challenges, you know, maybe transitioning to new jobs, looking at healthcare, education, scientific research. And I think with that opportunity, there is a responsibility that comes. So we're trying to build that inclusion and safety into our products from the start, guided by several principles, such as, you know, accessibility by design, which is really a core principle, thinking about, you know, the disability community and how they can use our technology to contribute and participate in societies, and a commitment to helping people and communities build the skills that they need to be able, you know, to create their own jobs, or like find new jobs, or like transition in their career, switch to new industries. And we have really welcomed, and we were looking forward to the Union of Skills initiative, and we welcome the Commission's leadership in this space. It was great to see that this was a core priority in the first 100 days of the new Commission, right? As well as the AI continent communication that was just published a couple of days ago, which emphasizes that need for AI specialists on the one side to drive AI development and adoption, but also, and it's on equal footing, which I think it's important, the need to ensure that citizens and broader society have the literacy needed to be able to engage with these technologies and use it in a safe way. So we're looking forward to working together. There's just so much work to be done, and I think one of the reasons we're also engaged with All Digital and with communities like this is that we know that we can't. There's only so much we can do, and it's with, you know, bringing everyone together, from civil society to, you know, local governments and organizations to private sector, that we can really move the needle. It's moving slowly, but I think by continuing kind of this energy and these initiatives and helping scale them, we'll be able to make a difference.
Thank you, Andre. As you mentioned, Union of Skills and AI continent, and how private sector can also support in advancing these objectives of the European Commission. Of course, I will turn to Georgi with a curious question. So with Digital Education Action Plan, Union of Skills, and other initiatives in place, do you think these will be enough to drive us to the 80% target for 2030? Do you think there are other creative solutions, bigger initiatives we need at different levels? And also, how can private sector support that? Do you think there is still room for other things that private players like Microsoft can think of in supporting these objectives?
Well, so to start with, on the level of the Commission, with the Union of Skills, we have now adopted also the action plan for basic skills, where you see digital next to reading and mathematics as a basic skill. And I think this is a very strong message that we need to treat this equally to those other, let's say, well-established skills and drive performance higher. Secondly, with the Digital Education Action Plan, we've put forward a more coherent framework, which certainly will evolve, but at least we have put together the questions related to the overall ecosystem and the development of the ecosystem, together with the infrastructure, the connectivity, the devices, the content on the one side, and the digital competences. And these two, they can't be seen in isolation. So the one really impacts the other, because we are in a technology transformation world. And it is very important that we acknowledge these two sort of mutually beneficial, I think, forces. We have now launched the review of the Digital Education Action Plan after 5 years of implementation. We are at a very important moment. We have announced it in both the Union of Skills as well as in the AI continent. And we are going to put forward, end of this year, the 2030 roadmap on digital education and skills. And this is going to drive the actions for the current mandate of the European Commission. And one thing that I want to pick up, and which was also mentioned in the AI continent, is that we will also move towards the AI literacy and establishing an AI literacy framework, something which we today are developing already with the OECD, and we are going to announce more next month in May, because we believe that the AI literacy is a sort of a new layer on top of the existing digital competences, which have to be taken very, very seriously and have to be also incorporated as much as possible in education, which is why we are making specific references also in the AI continent on primary and secondary education. Again, as you see, this is a big ambition, because the role of the Commission is limited, but we really believe that we can't wait for isolated actions to emerge here and there, and we believe some sort of mobilization at the European level. Now, final point to your question, and to say, is that enough? No, it's not enough at all. And we are at the European level, let's say, bound to what we can do, and we know the limitations of it. We know the power of it, but we also know the limitations of it, which is why this gathering today, and also the private sector, Microsoft, other companies, but also all digital and the communities behind it are so instrumental, because we know that digital inclusion and digital participation is not a function of education and formal education only. There is so much more in informal, in the way also parents treat, the digital, let's say, environment at home. So there is much more that we all together, and informal, non-formal education can do, and where also specifically, for example, going forward over the next few years, I expect much more structured public-private partnerships cooperation, and I think we are going to come back to this towards the end of this year when we present our roadmap. But I think for now that would be enough from my side.
Thank you, Georgi, for letting us know about these next steps. So as we will slowly wrapping up our debate, I would like to turn to Peter, because we heard about what the Commission can do and private sector, how can they support. So I'm wondering if you could swap jobs with Georgi or Andrea. Who would you select, and what would you do to advance digital inclusion? Hard decision, but you will have to make it.
That's a tough choice. I've been thinking to choose, and because they both have really powerful positions to drive change. But if I had to pick, I would pick the role for Georgi for a week. And I have two reasons for that. One reason is that I would have the opportunity to embed digital inclusion even more into the EU's digital education and lifelong learning strategies. And I would really push for more links between formal education and the incredible work that is happening in informal, non-formal education, libraries, community centers, NGOs, most of our members, where, to be honest, much of digital upskilling for adults is happening today. And the second reason is that, Georgi, if I was in your position, I would immediately book a time slot in Andrea's calendar, Alteo's calendar, David's calendar, to discuss how we can further collaborate. You were talking about the partnership and collaboration, to review policy targets, funding mechanisms, and so that we reflect better on the realities of those are digitally excluded.
Well, thank you. I think out of this debate, we have some keywords and strong messages about co-creation, working together, partnerships, and then also creating long-term trust on technology by considering inclusiveness and responsible production at the beginning of any technological development. So this is a wrap-up. So I will give the floor to David, but first I would like to call all participants to use the reaction feature of Teams and tell us what emoji represents, how you feel about the future of digital inclusion in Europe after hearing all of these interventions. So as you do this, I just thank Andrea, Georgi, and Peter about this debate. It was really a nice one, and we will carry these messages forward. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot, Celine. Thank you. And thank you for all the speakers as well. That was really a very rich exchange that we had here. And we have learned that if the institution has obviously the authority in a democracy, it's really up to all of us, whether we're in private sector or in NGO sector or in the institutional sector to make it happen, basically. Now it's time to celebrate the 5 winners of this year. And I can tell you, we will travel across Europe. So I apologize already in advance if we have some technical issues or some slowdown in kind of connections. We'll try to talk to each of the winners live. So it's a bit like Eurovision. So expect some bottleneck and obstacles. We know it. We'll have 5 winners because we have 5 focus areas here at All Digital. And we have decided to allocate 1 winner for each of the focus areas. The prize this year, there's a prize. Yes, there's a prize for the winners. The prize this year is actually quite generous and I would say extremely relevant as well. Each winner will receive an invitation to the All Digital Summit in Malta. Each winner will travel to Malta and travel will be reimbursed up to 300 euros. That's the price. So that's great. The evaluation has been done on 2 criteria so that you have full transparency. One criteria was the impact of the activity that took place during the All Digital Weeks, and second criteria, because we care about making sure that everything can be reused in all Europe, second criteria was the replicability. I've trained for that one, replicability. So impact and replicability. And for each focus areas, we received really many great nominations from our national coordinators, but we could only select one winner. And by the way, I also want to really thank our national coordinators. They've done a great job in each of the different countries. And I also want to thank the representative of All Digital who made the final selection, because that was not an easy selection. Let's get started. The first focus area that we will be looking at is access to digital. Access remains really the first border of inclusion. And our first winner shows how building digital capacity starts by empowering those who teach.
It was an examiner qualification for the ECDL in schools. That means that teachers in school receive the qualification or authorization to take the exam for numerous ECDL module exams. ECDL stands for International Certification of Digital Literacy, and at the same time the participating teachers, most of them were very young teachers, bring the idea of the basic digital education into their own schools and digital competence mostly to a higher school. And at the same time, it increases their own digital competences and offers pupils a digital perspective, motivates them to obtain an international certificate on a voluntary basis. Two words, digital detox. They take away from smartphones, take away from web conferences, to see what we do, to bring, to reduce the stress that we have with online media. And I think it's also, we have a discussion in Austria to forbid smartphones in school. And therefore I think it's very, very important also for young people, or for us too, to find a digital balance in our life.
Well done. Our first winner is coming from Austria, from the ICDL teacher training. Thank you very much, and congratulations to Manfred from the Catholic University of Education of Vienna. And I think we have with us Ronald Bieber, who is the Secretary General of the Austrian Computer Society. Ronald.
Yes, I'm here.
How are you doing? You good?
Perfect. Yeah. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes, we hear you very well. Congratulations for this victory. And I see that you are already live in an event or with the background as well. Ronald, we were wondering, because having teacher, I mean, we know that this is, I don't want to hurt anyone, but we know it's a kind of quite conservative community, teachers in Europe. So what was your biggest challenge, and how did you manage to kind of get those teachers on board with these projects?
Oh, yeah, it's actually it's the same also in Austria. It's not easy to teach a community, but we must say we are really the best multiplicators, and the most important actually, because they have children or the students over more than 8, sometimes 8 years together, and if we can bring their digital competence towards the teachers, then it's an easier step to bring it also to the students. And we are doing that already since more than 20 years. And so we are very happy to have a great network of schools doing that already. So, and since the pandemic, it has increased by enormously. So we have, since the pandemic, we have more than 100 schools, and that means 100 teachers coming again to that event actually, and doing ICDL in schools. And that's currently more than 800 schools in Austria doing that. And that is really that we are very proud and very happy to that we have that number. And so
wow, that's impressive. That's impressive. Well done. Congratulations. And I'll record that the impact is clearly there, and to replicate that in your own countries, everywhere, everyone, it's really about the network, as Ronald just confirmed. Well, Ronald, I'm very happy to tell you that one from your project will be joining us in Malta, under the sun of Malta. Congratulations again. Well done.
Thank you very much. I'm very proud, and thank you to your perfect organization of that All Digital Weeks. Really great job.
Thanks a lot, Ronald. Thank you. It's time now to move to our second award, and our second category is digital upskilling, because it's really not just only about the tools upskilling, and it's really about the confidence, the creativity, the collaboration, and the story we will see really shows that all the three of them has to go together just as one day in order to make it successful. This is the winner of digital upskilling.
The Hello Future Hackathon was organized, brought together young girls from all over Latvia and Lithuania to develop tech solutions for real-world challenges in education, health, sustainability. We organized the hackathon on the last day of the EU Code Week, Girls in Digital Week, and the All Digitals Week. So it was a good final for both of these initiatives.
And for me, this program and this hackathon is particularly very special one, because I am a mother of 3 daughters, and I'm every day facing still a very strong stereotype in a Latvian society that girls are ballet dancers and singers, and boys are hockey players and programmers. So people like me, like Vita, we want to break the stereotype. We want to show the girls that IT world is too good to be left alone for boys only.
There are several transformative stories that stood out to me. For example, I really liked the girl who had the biggest stage fright, and she was the only one from her team who was not sick at the finals, and she got raffled to be the first person to present at the event of the hackathon, and she was so afraid. But when she went to the stage, she completely nailed the presentation, and despite all of her fear. And I think this was an amazing experience for her, and also for the jury to see that.
So all the girls met online and they developed their solutions online. But the final was really special because they finally got to meet each other, and all of the teams were mixed from different cities, and you could really feel the joy of girls finally meeting each other, hugging each other, and also those teams who got selected for the finals and for the special nominations that we had from the companies. The joy was so pure and so true. I think Vita won't let me lie that you could feel really the sparkles in the room.
Digital inclusion to me, this means equal opportunities for all. And during our hackathon, we ensured also the possibility to include participants all over Latvia and Lithuania, even from the most remote regions. The winning team was especially inspiring, as each member came from a different region, a different city, and they were able to learn and collaborate together. Doesn't matter about the distance.
Main takeaway that these programs need to be done, and I hope one day we won't need these programs anymore, because like nowadays we don't anymore ask questions if man or woman can drive a car, but it used to be a case. So I hope there will be one day a day when we won't wonder whether girls can code or not, because that will be a normal thing to do.
Indeed, well done to Latvia. The project Girls in Hackathon is the winner for the digital upskilling. And great video, by the way, a great message and moving message by Vita from Licta and Angela from Datorium. I think Mara Jacobson, Vice President of Licta, is here with us today. Mara, well done.
Thank you, David. It was a pleasure to take part in All Digital Weeks. And in Latvia, we realized that this is the 16th year when we have All Digital Week. Let's say the first year it was just Get Online Week that we are organizing these events. And this year we had 100 partners, 78 regional partners from the small municipalities and libraries, and 22 industry and government partners. So
wow, that's impressive. That's impressive. And we can see all the energy and the teamwork and the big ideas that you have there. Mara, a question here. What would you say to a 14-year-old girl somewhere in Europe that thinks tech is not for me? We have that everywhere. We have that every day. What is the message that you would tell her?
I think the message is really about the ideas and about the solutions that you can provide. Because the girls also involved in our hackathon with ideas, not just with programming. And of course, it's very important that we publish as much as possible the stories, the pictures, the videos, showing it is possible, because it's girls learn from girls. From your friends, from your sisters. I think this is very important.
Indeed. Thanks a lot, Mara. And well done again. Congratulations. Well done to all the team. Our next topic, our next award goes for AI and emerging tech, because AI and emerging tech can feel a bit abstract, but they don't have to. I mean, our next story is actually really showing how curiosity, robotics, hands-on learning can really make this advanced tech accessible and fun. So let's go for next winner from AI and emerging tech.
The first LEGO League Cyprus 2025, it's the national event, part of the largest robotics league. We had more than 200 participants from age to 16-year-old youth participants. The students explored this year's theme that it was entitled Submerged, and it was about the ocean. Through STEM, robotics, coding, and teamwork activities, the whole event promotes digital skills and in a fun, hands-on way. It was more than 200 youth participants, but we had 50 volunteers. We had all their more than 500 guests, their families and friends and professionals. It's empowering. It brings together people and organizations for digital inclusion. The moment that really stood out to me on that day, it was when I saw the students of the public technical school celebrating their win. They will represent Cyprus in an international first LEGO League event, but their energy coming from a public school, it was what was for me the moment. I hope that my daughter especially sees what we are doing about the girls in tech, what actions we do to attract young women in our field.
Well done. Congratulations to Cyprus for this LEGO League project, and congratulations to Christina from the Cyprus Computer Society in Nicosia. I think we have Toumazi, who is project manager at Cyprus Computer Society today with us. Toumazi?
Yes, hi, David.
Well done. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Indeed, it's very rewarding too.
And you work with very young learners about some very big concepts, and that should be a bit complex. What do they understand, maybe actually even better than us? What is your experience with those young learners on big concepts?
I think that sometimes as adults we complicate things. So young learners can easily get into basic concepts, understand what is coding in an easy and fun way. And through this event, you can understand that they are having fun. It's a festival. They showcase their ideas. And having their parents, their teachers there, you see that you're kind of closing this gap between the age gap, actually. And in addition to that, I would say that multidisciplinarity that brings together technology, AI, and also awareness about the environment, the ocean, which this event was also an activity under the UN Ocean Decade. It brings everyone together on common topics, on common interest. And as you heard from Christina, that everyone is now joining international and worldwide events. Children will get to understand that these are common issues. The digital gap is there. We're trying to close it, and starting from the early age, we don't really care about the gender, the background, the country, and we're just one world.
That's the way it should be. I love this sentence. Thanks a lot, Tomatis. And congratulations again. Well done. Great
Thank you
job.
very much, David. Thanks, everyone. Congratulations to everyone else.
It's time to get to our fourth award. And the fourth award is allocated for digital well-being, because digital well-being goes really beyond screen time. It's about feeling safe, feeling informed, feeling prepared. And the story you'll hear now, it's really bringing that to life, all of that to life through cybersecurity, learning, empowerment. It's a complete story. Digital well-being, here's the winner for this year.
Our activity started already in 2015. It is a nationwide event focused on digital skills and cybersecurity. It's designed for students from age of 9 to 25. Its goal, it's not only to compete, but to educate young talents through tests, workshops, and real CTF competitions. Also by let's say cooperation with industry and academia experts. It's a project which includes also awareness raising and education on digital technologies, digital competencies, and AI and security, targeting both it means students and teachers. Something like a strawberry on the cake is our national final, which is happening right now this week in Brno, the second largest city in Czech Republic. And it includes not only the competition, but also, let's say, digital and cyber awareness activities for public, for teachers, students, and also for security community. It includes large conference this year focus on digital competencies and AI mainly, specific workshops for teachers that they can get some new knowledge and skills how to educate their students. We are providing methodological support, etc. Not difficult question, but as you said, one word, or okay, I can say in one sentence, yeah, an inspiring journey that uncovers hidden talents and sharpens their future.
Congratulations to Czechia for winning the Digital Wellbeing Award this year with this ADW project. And I think Peter Jirasek, Program Director of Cyber Centrum in Brno, is with us as well. Peter?
Yeah, hello, good morning. I'm not from
Peter,
Brno,
well
I'm
done,
from Prague,
congratulations.
from capital of Czech Republic. Hello.
Okay, thank you for the precision. No, congratulations, really well done. And actually, as I mean, explaining cybersecurity to teenagers, that should not be easy at all. You were saying that you are building a proper protocol for that. Is there one tip that you can give to all the people around that are listening to us? How do you talk about cybersecurity to teenagers?
We are already talking to preschool children, to kids and their teachers. So we are talking about cybersecurity also to kids from age of 4. And we are not pushing them to use the digital technology, but as they are using, because we are modern society, which is using daily the digital technology, we are telling them use it safe. So all our advice to teachers, parents, also grandparents, and of course to kids is to use the digital technology in proper way.
And you're bringing together really quite a diverse crowd. I mean, from students to the army. How does it work together? I mean, how does the bringing the army really help the debate here?
If I have opportunity to show all logos of companies, academic institutions, and government institutions, you will see incredible number of partners which are behind all these activities. And I would say, just in one sentence, it works perfectly together, and we must work together because we are really living digital world. For future generation, it will be their entire life, and so we can really shape digital environment together perfectly. I really hope and believe.
Okay, well, thanks a lot, Peter. That's a good learning for all of us. We need to build partnerships and not be afraid of being multiple partners together to make it even more powerful. Thanks, Peter. Congratulations
Thank you,
again.
and
Well done.
It's a really great honor to be recognized like this. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Peter. And it's time to move to our last award of this year. And this award is for Digital Skills Policy, because policies only work when they meet people realities. And our final story is really showing how digital inclusion in healthcare can be both visionary and grounded. This is the winner for this year for Digital Skills Policy.
La nostra attività è stata rivolta essenzialmente per dare un senso e soprattutto comprendere bene cosa significa il dato sanitario digitale. Questo non soltanto per quanto riguarda la proprietà, i diritti, ma anche il rispetto di questi diritti. Quindi ha riguardato una materia molto particolare che ha suscitato grande interesse per una platea che riguardava non soltanto pazienti, caregiver e famiglie, ma anche persone coinvolte come ricercatori, medici, operatori sanitari che hanno partecipato attivamente a questi webinar interattivi. I webinar sono stati 5 e hanno riguardato l'approfondimento del dato sanitario digitale per i cittadini europei, tutti i cittadini europei, ovviamente declinato nell'interesse delle persone che si occupano di malattie rare, ma non solo. Sicuramente l'oggetto dei nostri incontri ha suscitato molto interesse. Per ogni incontro hanno partecipato non meno di 50 persone, quindi orientativamente siamo arrivati ad un totale di 200 persone. Come vi ho detto, non soltanto relatori o persone, ricercatori, medici, pazienti, caregiver, ma anche presidenti di associazioni e rappresentanti di associazioni. I temi trattati hanno un valore e un livello internazionale. L'introduzione del nuovo regolamento sull'Health Data Space europeo, il 327, con la relazione rispetto al regolamento dei dati personali ha suscitato sicuramente tantissimo interesse. Quindi abbiamo approfondito tutti questi temi passando dal dato per l'assistenza al dato attraverso i registri e il dato importante per la ricerca. Quindi la campagna europea è come sempre un grande stimolo per riconoscere quello che non c'è, ma per cui bisogna lavorare. Noi siamo fortemente motivati affinché nessuno sia escluso e appunto quel divario digitale sia eliminato o perlomeno attenuato, soprattutto per la parte o per le popolazioni più fragili.
Well done. Congratulations to Italy and to Riccarda for the Rare Disease Network Association. I think that Fulvio Ananasso is here with us. Fulvio is President Stati Generali dell'Innovazione, and you can hear that my Italian accent is not perfect, and I apologize for that, Fulvio. Well done. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
And you really linked regulation, patient voices, and data innovation, all that together, which should not be really easy, right?
Yes, this was, by the way, our aim in general, even last year or last years. This is the third year that we are doing the national coordination, and we really concentrated on putting several aspect of a specific problem altogether. So our macro event were made up of several sub-events in which everyone was dealing with a specific aspect. And you mentioned normative aspect, technology, and so forth. And we try really to understand that, and it was even a very good thing for us, that all the things are linked together, and we are putting together data, we are putting technologies. But even when you talk in terms of digital health literacy or digital health, in general, people think about, telemedicine, bracelets, things like that. There is a complete world outside this, which is the world of caregiver, of patients, of family members, which all needs specific technology and awareness. So, and to be empowered on this. So we really concentrated on this, and we are very happy. By the way, we had, in addition to what Riccarda said, we had a lot of people looking offline on all our events were put on our YouTube channel, and the people are really looking and looking and looking. So it's really there is a lot of pan-European interest about that, and we are very happy. And I anticipate your possible question. We are very, very happy of being part of this initiative, because there is a lot of networking, and the policies can be really promoted all over Europe in order to the benefit of all the European partners. So I thank you for this opportunity.
Fulvio. And Fulvio, I think that we also want to thank Renza from the Rare Disease Network, which is also with us today.
Yeah.
Well done. Congratulations to all of you. Really, well done. And really, I want to thank all the 5 winners and all the initiative that took place during the All Digital Weeks. We had 725 events reaching around 65,000 people during those last 3 weeks. That's really impressive. But it's not only about numbers. I mean, behind each one of those numbers, there's a trainer, there's a learner, there's a local champion. There's a life that has been changed. And so that's whether you're joining from a rural school or from a urban co-working hub, your voice is really part of this movement that we're talking about. And as I said, all those 5 winners will be invited to the Malta this September for the All Digital Summit 2025, because what they have done and what all of you have done deserve a bigger stage, really bigger stage. So mark your calendar. 10 to 12 September 2025. That's where we'll have the All Digital Summit in Malta. And the registrations opens today. You will get the link into the chat box just right now. And in Malta, we'll really go deeper, connect even wider, build stronger bridges between the skills, between inclusion and innovation. We'll have over 200 digital education and inclusion experts. And on the registration form, you will see that we ask a few questions. And the reason is that we will, in addition to meeting everybody offline, in person, we'll also have some matchmaking before the event, during the event, and after the event, so that really everybody knows how to talk to. The theme this year, it's empowering connected generation. Empowering connected generation. It's really more than a slogan, right? I mean, All Digital, it's about real people, real skills, real impact. So whether you're working on AI in a classroom or digital well-being or upskilling or policy, the European conversation happens in Malta, La Valette this year. So expect some really hands-on workshops, some bold ideas, some meaningful connections. We are really proud of what we are preparing for you today for September event, and all of that under the beautiful sun of Malta. And the onboarding start today. So the gate is in the chat box. You have the link there, filling all the details so that you'll have great networking experience. And I really want to thank all the speakers and really congratulate all the winners and thank all the participants across Europe who joined us today and throughout these 3 really inspiring weeks this year. All Digital Weeks 2025 is closing today, but it really reminds us one thing, which is that digital inclusion is not just a policy, it's a movement. I've used these words several times. It's really a movement. And so thank you for being part of this movement. Thank you for being part of this journey. And let's carry this movement to Malta. See you there. See you in Malta. And thank you, everybody. Thank you.